He exposed the truth and got hacked.
Why don't we do an update on the whole Tarkov situation?
Okay, yeah.
Chat's asking about like sorry, what happened to Goat? Like it got rootkitted or something? What? Like his system's down? People been arrested in China?
What?
What is happening?
Literally not one time that we've talked about Goat or his videos on Wancho have I expected we were going to talk about Goat or his videos on Wancho. So I am yet again apologizing to Goat because I wasn't prepared for this. But he has released his third video on the topic now. It started with the wiggle that killed Tarkov, which is currently sitting at 2.2 million views, by the way.
Really good video.
Wow.
But his most recent video is I Was Attacked. And he talks about some of what happened in the aftermath. One of the things that he points out is that he was told by a number of people, including me, that he should have wiped his drive after all that happened. And he did not.
So I guess whenever you download cheats, apparently, like there's other things you download along with the cheats that make it quote unquote like dirty, and that you can have other people do stuff on your computer that you don't want them to. So, and I guess he forgot to, wipe his computer or whatever. So I want to see what happened.
And one of the things that he tried to do...
Why don't you explain why?
Well, he installed their software on his local system,
That
right?
We got to get people up to speed. Hold on.
Okay. So what happened was Goat, or also known as Goatmoth, a creator in the Tarkov space, Escape from Tarkov, a video game that I and a number of other people play. Are we good? Okay.
So I don't really play Tarkov like at all because I'm just not into like the survival FPS deal. And the GOAT video, the wiggle to kill Tarkov, just further reinforced that thought process of like, when there's more things on the line, the more people are willing to cheat to like get their way and just win at the game or whatever. Granted, there are cheaters in like every game, but like to the degree that there were in Tarkov, it seems like Goat was just fed up and he wanted to investigate himself. So, yeah.
He made a video called "The Wiggle That Killed Tarkov," which was an investigative journalism piece.
Really good.
It was fantastic on cheating in Tarkov and how
pervasiveness
and how much worse it is than most people realize. Because of the type of cheats that people use. A lot of people.
Essentially, a lot of people were just using walls and then a couple aimbotters.
When they're thinking about cheating in first-person shooter games, the main thing they think about is aim. Another thing that people think about is wall hacks, stuff like that. But usually you think about the obvious forms of cheating.
Yes.
And in Tarkov, it's not necessarily the obvious forms that are the most pervasive. It's the things that aren't very obvious unless you are also cheating. So he had to cheat in order to reveal this issue. He then followed up talking about how his account that he cheated on did get banned, but he knew that was coming. He didn't hide like his raid IDs or anything, so it was very easy for them to detect. And lots of things have happened in the aftermath. We covered some of this, I believe, in last show. But
anyway,
even more
after the video, you advised him to completely wipe his drive, fresh install, and the reason for that was because in order to expose the cheaters, Goat installed the same cheat software that they were using, which, I mean, I don't want to generalize.
But I'm about to generalize.
But if I was going to generalize, I would say that if you're a developer of cheating software for video games, you're probably not the most...
it's very likely if you download cheats for a game
character
that you are also downloading things that you probably don't want on your system.
Yep.
Whether that is...
And it's probably... Well, I'm saying if you develop cheats for games, you are probably selling software.
Your morals might be a little questionable.
That people shouldn't have on their system.
Yeah. So it's quite common to have like Bitcoin miners, or not necessarily Bitcoin, but coin miners installed on your system that are going to run in the background that you don't know about.
Stuff like that.
It's also very possible that...
Which is really crazy to think about. It's like if you make a cheat for a game, whatever game, it's like you think you would make the cheats and then just be done with it, but it's like that's not enough. You know, I want access to your computer anytime I want. I want to be able to mine whatever crypto on it. And it's like that's kind of, it feels like they're like double dipping in their audience or whatever, like the cheat developer. Not only are they going to sell you a product, they're going to do some other stuff with your computer, which is like just crazy to think about.
Like in this particular situation, they install a rootkit on your system that they can like do basically whatever they want with. And he went to try to get some. In his original video, he talked about how he didn't want to interview the cheat developers. For this video, he has interviews with some anti-cheat developers, and he wanted some voice clips from cheat developers. And he thought you should watch the video. Don't get everything from the WAN show.
For real.
Yeah, it's actually like I'm not going to. It's a 16-minute video. And
No,
it's
I
packed.
just mean in general.
Yeah, also that.
All right, I might go watch that.
But he wanted like a voice clip from the people that developed the cheat that he used in particular, because he brought up it had gone undetected for 3 years. So he wants.
That's crazy to think that Tarkov went 3 years without detecting any of these types of cheats or whatever. And it's like, what is actually happening to the FPS community? That like they can't detect like basic things like walls or anything or any type of aimbot that, you know, all the types of cheats that we saw in that video. It's crazy.
Wants to hear them like being really cocky about it, basically.
Sure.
He reconnected to their Discord. They now have some form of verification, and they figured out that it was a new user from the same. I don't know if I don't remember all the details. You should watch the video. But they figured out that it was him essentially.
Yeah.
And then just like nuked his drives.
Wow.
Couldn't boot anymore. Couldn't even find the drives when like looking through BIOS or anything. He thinks they killed like the drivers on his NVMe drives.
Killed the drivers. What
I
does
don't
that
know
even mean?
necessarily. Yeah, I haven't looked into.
So I guess he thinks that, like, let's say Goat was on his computer setup, the little slot that holds the M.2. He thinks the cheat devs got into his computer and just somehow ruined that slot so that it doesn't work anymore or whatever, is what I'm getting.
To it enough. There's a few ways that could happen.
Sure.
Without having access to stuff, I have no idea. I'm not good enough to make enough assumptions to know.
Wild.
The controller, yeah. If they're NVMe drives, they're like, it's not a hard drive, so you can fry those in a variety of ways.
Right.
To be honest, in hard drives, there's other bad ways you can do it. And I have since told him, like, yeah, it could also be in your BIOS. At this point.
Yeah, so that's a whole thing that also came out this week, that there's crap.
So that whole motherboard is just bad. That whole computer is just torched, it seems like.
I forget the details, but basically there's the first instance of it's been theorized
firmware?
for a
It could be.
while,
Yeah.
but there's the first instance of like a firmware based malware that can survive a complete system reformat, because it can fool all the like trusted secure boot. It can fool secure boot and like all the
Bro, are we talking about computer viruses and not like actual like real life like physiological viruses, you know, like the common cold? The most common type of virus that like goes around and is probably like mutated so many times. It's like, oh, I got the cold, whatever. Is that what is that where we're at right now? Making PC viruses just like the common cold? Holy jeez, man. Fucking Dude, FPS is fucked. It's so bad.
The trust elements in that chain that that protect the pre-operating system loading, actually even pre-UEFI loading environments. So that's a whole thing, man. Like seriously, malware that can survive a complete system format and then just go and reinstall itself.
I mean, we've had stuff that can hide in BIOS for a while. That thing that you're talking about is different.
This is pre-BIOS though.
Yeah,
which is like bad.
Oh yeah, that's super bad.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Anywho, in order to install something like,
Don't cheat, kids. Whatever you do, unless you want to buy another computer.
that, they would need admin authorization on your computer. But the thing is, when you run an executable,
Yeah.
guess what that is?
Yeah. So that was kind of rough, but I mean, Ghost's doing okay. He got a 2.2 million view video. He's probably doing all right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he can probably replace
Buy a new NVMe drive.
some drives. Yeah. So he pitched those drives. Hopefully that's the extent of what needs to happen there. But there's also some other crazy news that happened that he reported on in that video, and you should watch it because he has some interviews with the devs of a game that I don't remember off the top of my head right now. We don't have notes for this. I didn't know we were going to talk about it today. And the interviews are very interesting, and they talk about how they have their game was like overrun with cheaters, and they talked about what they did in order to fix it. And now there's like public community posts by users, like players of the game, talking about like, yeah, it's a completely different world. I don't run into any anymore.
Wow, that's cool.
And their whole approach makes a ton of sense, and we've talked about it on WAN Show, where they just have a bunch of systems in place. And he talks about it, but they call it like the Swiss cheese approach or something. Because like each system is going to have some holes, but you just have enough of them that eventually you're not going to be able
Nothing
to make
can
it
pass
all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe some can, but like they've gotten it to a point where it's so low.
I mean,
that the
we've
community's
talked
quite
before
happy
about how there are cheats that are literally a robot arm
Yes.
playing the game that
You're
no
not gonna
anti-cheat could
fully
detect.
stop it.
But
Yeah.
that's not fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Very few people are going to set up a 3D printer to move the mouse around for them to play the game. Like that.
I mean, yeah, that's not fun. But like, when you want to cheat and you want to win, how many like gameplay streamers without a face cam, no hand cam, no nothing? Like, I can only imagine. Like with the little robot arm cheating or whatever. There's got to be at least a couple people doing that. That'd be so funny if that was like a bigger thing. Oh my god.
That's not.
You just get to observe. Maybe some RMTers will and stuff, but like you're really
Yes.
massively reducing the impact.
Yes.
Bro, you wouldn't even have to be like, all you would need is like your voice at that point, you know? Imagine just like talking or whatever and like having some gameplay go on, like the actual game that you're playing or whatever, and then you're just talking the whole time. But it's not you, it's just a robot arm. You know? It's just Johnny 5, you know, playing the game for you.
But like, yeah. So you should watch those interviews.
Most
are really
cheaters
cool.
want to press the button.
Oh yeah.
And feel like a Chad because they,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm sick of this game.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like for most cheaters, that's not going to be that appealing.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's all super interesting. But one of the things that he talks about in the video, and again, I don't have notes, so I'm hoping I'm going to remember this well, but that cheat that he used, there's stuff on their Discord. Oh, man, I wish I could bring this up right now. There's stuff on their Discord talking about how the service is offline and no one can use it right now because it has to call to a service all the time, and their servers are like gone. And there's people reporting that we don't know who necessarily, but some amount of arrests were made.
Good.
Arrests.
Like people were put in jail, and their servers were seized. This is a cheat developer based in China.
Now,
we have no
hold on a
idea
second.
who did this. We don't know if it was BSG. We don't know if the investigation was already running from someone else.
I know
No idea.
I know that developing game cheats is illegal in I think South Korea,
I think also using them is illegal in South Korea.
but I wasn't aware of any legislation like that in China.
Neither was I.
Neither. I do know that there is a culture of Chinese players cheating outside of China?
Well, at least in China, you know, you got all the World of Warcraft bots and farming gold and whatnot. So I don't know where he draws a line on that. So I mean, that's not really cheating. That's more like automating. I don't know if automating would be classified as like also. It probably would be.
So I do wonder if maybe there is something, and that's why they go to like North American or European servers, is because they might get caught if they go on local servers.
I have no
I
idea.
have no clue. Just a random theory.
Wow. So
Very interesting.
like the
Massive
last
developments.
story we were talking about, this is very much a developing story right
Yeah.
now. And I cannot believe, I mean,
The level of impact.
when we first talked about this, I went, wow, that's really cool. That game. Right?
Yeah.
Like I love this kind of expose, investigative journalism
Yeah, and he's
type
done a
of
great
content.
job,
Yeah, like you know, good job, kudos, and all of that, right? I didn't expect the explosion on their community last week. I didn't expect that we're going to be looking at people getting literally arrested over the development of this
I
of this
didn't see
cheating
that coming.
software.
And so quickly too, because like that video is not even a month old, and already action is being taken, is like happening already. Imagine if it was like that in like other FPS games. Like, how awesome would that be?
Software.
Dude, when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like quit for a while because the situation is so bad, I didn't expect things would happen. I still haven't played yet, but like I didn't expect things would happen this fast that are like,
Yeah.
oh, the like main cheat in the whole game just got deleted from the internet. Like that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, BBC.com. Police bust world's biggest video game cheat operation. Several luxury sports cars were among assets seized. Oh, for crying out loud.
Okay, this is awesome.
Were among assets seized in the raid. Nice cars. Chinese police and gaming giant Tencent has led to
They probably go faster than like all the other cars on the track because they cheated.
because they what? They cheated? Oh my god. $76 million in revenue. They seized assets. worth
76
$46
million in
million.
rev.
How many people are buying this stuff?
Everybody, man. Everybody's buying it. And also, since that was like Tarkov's biggest like main cheat, I wonder how many other games like that, like shutting those servers down, affected. That is a really good question.
Subscription prices for users began at about $10 a day.
I don't know how.
And up to 200 a month, which is crazy.
100% know if this is the same.
Hold on, is this the same one? When is this from?
I don't know.
This is from March 30th. Of 2 years ago. Never mind, this is old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Well,
it
okay.
said like
I think they posted this to show that yes, it is very much a thing.
It is a thing. Okay, yeah. Fair
Okay.
enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Wow. There's a bunch of people posting in Floatplane chat. Wanny pack.
Andrew Tate was.
Okay. So that's a good video. It's good to hear that stuff is happening to like cheat developers, and so quickly too, which is really crazy. I've never heard of something like that happening like at that speed before. Pro tip for people doing research: don't install shady software on your computer. True. Use a virtual machine. Oh my god. Yep. Well, not only that, or whatever, the virtual machine, it's like you also have to get past spoofers or whatever. So that's a whole nother thing. If there's one thing that people should take out of this whole situation, is that installing cheat software, you're essentially handing over the keys to your PC to whomever made the software. True. You know? And that's also another reason why console owners don't want to make the jump to PC. I would imagine. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But like when you make your PC for the first time, like your own DIY, there's like because I made my first computer there, and I had like this one is mine, and I have like there's like a lot of just sentimental value to it because it's like I never made any computer at all, and it was my first time, and I had to watch so many YouTube videos because I didn't even know how to read the like installation book where it was like you get this box of parts all from like different developers or whatever, and there's it was just a big hassle like your first time is what I'm trying to say. And it's like why would you download cheats to like fuck yourself over essentially like that? That's all I'm getting at. I like how all this happened, right? The guys that made the cheats nukes the guy who exposed the drives, and this doesn't help the cheat company. Now everyone who downloaded their cheats officially and 100% know that at any time the folks who made the cheat can fry the drives of anyone using their cheat software. That's going to lose them a lot of customers. Yeah. That I think that cheat developer going down is like a huge L for like all cheat developers, because I could still go into Google and type in cheats for Apex, cheats for COD or whatever, cheats for this game or that game. And now that a lot of people know that that developer could have done that to them, that is a huge win for like normal gamers or whatever, for like the general population. All right. That is actually insanely awesome because they took action and didn't have enough forethought to like think that was going to happen. And for Goat to come out and be like, "Yep, they did that." That's going to drive away a lot of people that just do like closet cheating or whatever. Like just cheat by themselves, play whatever game, come home from work, do whatever, fire up a match, and just start playing. Maybe they'll only do it for like an hour or so and then jump off. You know, Man, that's crazy. Yeah, if I was a cheater and I saw that they took a hold of somebody's computer and like fried some shit inside, I'd be like, okay, that's done. You know what that is? That's essentially like that is more or less like fear tactics. Because like if you when I was a little kid and like I tried a cigarette when like some single digits, I think it was like 8 or 9. I don't remember. But my dad owned a restaurant and he smoked a lot and he was a cook in there. I he handed me the cigarette to like be like, "Oh, go throw this out." So I took it, went outside the back, shut the door, made sure the door was closed, and then I took a huff of it, and then I just started coughing like and then I think my dad heard me coughing, opened the door, and then he like slapped the cigarette out of my hands. It's like, "Cornel, don't do that. No." So, because I was trying to be cool like my dad or whatever. That's like a good example of using fear tactics to like scare away potential cheaters, you know? Like, and then also that same day, um, because we didn't have a computer back then or whatever, but like, if something like that were to happen today, and like, let's say I do it again, and my dad comes and like smack the cigarette out of my hand, like, I think that's like also showing your kid like what lung cancer looks like, showing your kid what like rotten teeth look like. Like if you were to smoke a cigarette and you catch your kid doing that, and then you got to take them to the side and fire up a bunch of like Google photos of like this is what lung cancer that looks like. This is what it's gonna look like if you when you get a stoma and you smoke too much or whatever. That's like a good fear tactic to use to prevent that from happening. So I don't know. Anyway, good video. Later.